Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Aaron, and in today's video I wanted to talk a little bit about palm muting and how we can add some extra dynamics and flavor to our rhythm playing. So without further ado, check this out. Alright, let's talk a little bit about just kind of where it's happening physically on your hand. It's kind of right in this zone here, and not over the sound hole, and back more towards the bridge. And so you got to find that happy place where that palm can lay on there, but you can also grab the strings with your pick. So let's start out with maybe just playing some power chords, some something like an A5 and a D5 and an E5. So if we focus on that A, which is on strings 5 and 4, trying to get the meat of that palm right over those two strings, right? And if I push really hard with my palm, let's listen to this, kind of lose all the chord sound. If I'm obviously too light or off, I got a big ring. If I'm kind of in the middle with the amount of force I'm pushing down, we get a mix of that chord sound and the percussive sound, and that's kind of, I think, what you're going for generally, is to find that mix of both. Okay, so one thing you could do is just work on a, maybe like a blues where you played an A power chord, and you're trying to get that rhythmic thing, percussive, and the chord. Again, if I push too hard, too light, really opens up. Okay, so back to the muting, and we have, switch it over to the D, down to the E. Now, I didn't feel my palm moving too much when I was switching chords. It's kind of, it can lay over almost all the strings, so there's no need for you to kind of shift your hand, or in my case I didn't. But one thing you might want to add in that starts making rhythms and tunes sound good are a combination of the palm mute, but then opening it up and letting the chord to ring. It's that dynamic that's really making things sound good. So check this out. So we could go open, closed, open, mute, open, open, closed. Okay, so kind of a combination of closed and open, and you hear that quite often. I think it's a good mix of sounds. Okay, so that's just kind of doing two strings, right? And, okay, let's look at like a single note line. So same thing, probably just center the meat of that palm over the string that you're going to be playing the line on. So example, I'll do this is a little Bob Marley riff on the 5th string. It goes like this. And I'm pushing down pretty good on that one. I'm really, I kind of feel like I'm hearing a little bit more percussiveness than the note. So I don't know if it's split 50-50 or if it's just a little bit harder, but you could do that on any string, right? You could move it down to the low string and do the line. Okay, but again, that palm mute's kind of back towards the bridge, and I'm finding that happy balance between pushing too hard and being totally off where it's ringing. But you want to know both, because you want to combine both, and that makes tunes have a really nice vibe, right? So let's talk a little bit about Neil Young's Heart of Gold. That would be a good example too, because he kind of tags the first. He plays an E minor 7 chord, by the way, and he hits the first bass with a mute, and then he opens it up. He goes. So you hear that? You got a bass, then it's wide open, right? Bass. Mute. Mute. Okay, again, it sounds so good because I think he kind of links up with obviously the drum set. Okay, so I'm kind of hitting on that one, since it's an E minor chord, I'm kind of tagging like the bottom 3 thickest strings. Right? So that's a good one to go, in between opening and letting it sustain versus muted out and it's really tight. Okay, another classic palm mute I can think of is Adele's song "Rollin' in the Deep," where she starts on a C power chord, kind of. So just these 3-note power chords. We have a root, 5th root. So, and this, now you're aiming on kind of 3 strings. Okay. So that's a good practice. You could do any song with power chords with those, root, 5th octave type power chords. That'd be a good practice. It might be a good game to play is to just pick, say you have 8/8 notes, and say, hey, I'm going to mute out, the second beat, so number 2 and maybe number 4. So you could go like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you could just pick different beats along the line of 8/8 notes and play. You could do every other one. You go. You could do 2 and then 1 like. It was a little different, but you get the idea. Okay, so you're really, again, going back and forth between the mute and letting it open and ring. And if you just took like a basic chord progression, like E minor, C, G, and D, right? And we just did mutes on the first. Adds a nice flavor to your playing. So let me know if this is helpful to you, and thanks a lot for showing up, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.